Hollywood. Big win last night. Fortunately, 18 other selfish pricks won with me. We had to split the 100 grand. That's why it's 8 grand and not 100 grand. The fucking win's a win. I'm doing a video and then I'm going to buy a brand new massage chair with my winnings because that's how I roll. Brought to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. This is making lineups. No fucking intros. We get to it. I don't like intros. They annoy me. Take me out of the whole fucking thing. I like to show off my wins. Second big win this year. This was a bigger win than the last win. Taking down a $3 game now. We've taken down the $15 game. So now we put our lineups in for the Colts and the what's that fucking team? Colts Steelers Monday Night Football game. So this is our 20 lineup allowance for the Packers and the Eagles. I'm not a spreadsheet jerk off like that whistles go whoop prick that I hate so much. So you know how we like to do it. We stack all the cards and then we work backwards instead of trying to fit guys in. It never fucking works. You start driving yourself fucking crazy. So you realize you're just gonna change out your captains, go with the try and get as close to the core with the best cards you can, and save that 6 card for what we like to call the outlier, the sleeper, the creeper. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. Holy shit, Jordan Love's getting a lot of attention all of a sudden. Miles Sanders. Could Jordan Love be coming into the game? Now, that is a huge deficit. We have a $16,000 deficit we're going to have to make up. We know how we do it. A.J. Brown. Try to get all the best cards in the deck. We like to call the dream lineup and then work backwards from there. Aaron Jones is a captain. Taking our 20 top people and thrusting them into the captain's chair and seeing what we can do. Will this be the day that we see Mr. Aaron Rodgers take the bench? Didn't they just kind of re up his contract? Packers, I just actually went to Lambeau Field. I was in Lambeau Field. I went for the Packers Titans game on Thursday. I flew up for the day. I flew into Milwaukee, drove 2 fucking hours in traffic, and got lots of smoked cheddar brats and hot cocoa. Lambeau Field is gorgeous. If you are a football fan, it is a must. Must put it on your bucket list. However, got to do what I did. I bought Walmart pajamas and I basically tucked them into all my clothes and then put my jeans on and my hoodie over the Walmart pajamas. And I did the double socks. The socks really didn't fucking work. My feet were cold, but my body was fine. And I bought a Lambeau Field gooseberry fucking hat that I think was in the girls section, but it's fucking nice and it had the Lambeau Field thing on it. I wanted the Lambeau Field logo, not the goddamn Packers logo. Anybody could buy a fucking Packers logo. I wanted the goddamn Lambeau Field. I want motherfuckers know where I've been. As I get high and make lineups, fucking Black Fridays. Anything better in the world? Taking your fucking fantasy football winnings right here and buying a brand new fucking X chair. Going to relax the back. It's gonna be fucking awesome. All right, Miles Sanders, Vontae Smith. We have big deficits here. We're gonna have to make up. That's quite all right. Everybody in this fucking game is banged the fuck up. We got a lot of Q ratings here, a lot of Qs. But again, whenever you ignore the Q, what happens? The Q bites you in the ass. Jordan Love. Romeo Dubs. Doubtful, but let's give it a shot anyway. We can always move the cards back. Dubs. No Gardner Minshew, no Etling, no Book. Eagles D, however. I mean, regardless whether you're an Eagles fan or not, it always sucks when a team is no longer undefeated. You always want like the undefeated team to get to the Super Bowl and see if they get throned. An undefeated team should be throned in the Super Bowl, not anywhere else. Sucks if they do. Randall Cobb almost won me some money. I did not win any money in that stupid ass Thursday game. Robert Tunyon. Bob Tunyon. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. Bob Tunyon. All right, $9,000 deficit. We're getting a little bit better here. A.J. Dillon. All year I was going with establish the run, and I got nothing against him. I realized more and more I can't stand when I subscribe to a service and they don't show me full lineup construction, it's always you should try these three guys. You should run this guy a captain. You should play this guy. I fucking hate that vague bullshit. But my system sucked last year, and I said, you know what? Let me change it up and go with pros. And it just was not fucking fun. And I realized more and more, regardless of money, of course, it's about the money. But I also want to fucking enjoy this. Otherwise, there's no point. I don't want to become some spreadsheet loser fucking asshole that puts in 8 billion lineups a month and is just sitting there stressed out of his fucking head and it's not fun anymore. I mean, you can go play fucking stocks or whatever. I'm just bitter because that spreadsheet cunt always fucking wins. I won yesterday, that motherfucker won 3 times as much as I won. It's fucking nerve wracking. He's a goddamn teacher at UConn. I want to fly up there and fucking break his legs for being such a cunt. Playing the big games, but when you play in the $5,000 and $10,000 games after you've won a million, you're a cunt. That's it. You're a cunt. It's called spread the fucking wealth. Don't be a cunt. Unfortunately, Whistles Go Woo is a cunt. Woo! Dick. I'm bitter. Trust me, if I was beating his ass and winning, I wouldn't be so bitter. But that isn't obvious. However, you make enough money to hang out with your bulldog, write comic books, and smoke weed and bang hookers. It's not a bad life. Not a bad life. Do, do. And that's our commentary while we play fantasy football. All right, here we go. Sammy Watkins. Finally, our last captain's card. Captain Picard's card to the Packers D. All right, kids. We got deficits going away from negative 7,000. Yeah, right. To 17 grand here. We gotta get our 17 grand back. Let's see what we gotta do here. Let's see who's gotta go. What cards will stay in our deck, and what will lead us to 300 grand. Jalen Hurts completed 18 of 25 passes for 190 yards and 1 touchdown while rushing for 86 yards and another score on 16 carries against Indianapolis on Sunday. The Colts successfully stymied the Eagles' big play offense, hoping Hurts would make mistakes when denied the big play. It was a good game plan and well executed by the Colts, but Hurts never made the mistakes Indianapolis hoped for. In fact, the star quarterback put the Eagles' offense on his back and stood tall against the Colts' inspired performance. Hurts and the Eagles' offense won't be denied big plays for long, and their Week 12 matchup against Green Bay can provide a viable setting for all-around production. Good God. That was ever a fucking review. But his main guy is banged up. A.J. Brown was listed as a non-participant on Thursday's practice report due to an illness. After avoiding the report entirely Wednesday, Brown is now dealing with some sort of ailment. He'll have one more practice and 2 more days to get healthy enough to be cleared for Sunday's game against the Packers. If Brown is limited or out this weekend, Devontae Smith would become the Eagles' #1 wideout receiver by default. But he also was added to Thursday's report as limited by a knee injury. As a result, the situation will be one to watch as the week continues to get a sense of both players' potential to play. Ay, ay, ay. Football's a dangerous fucking sport. Aaron Jones was limited at practice Thursday. Jones continues to deal with a shin injury, but this week a glute issue also being listed next to it, inhibiting his reps for the second session in a row. Friday's practice report could clear up his status entering the weekend, but if he's questionable for Sunday's game at Philadelphia, an 8:20 p.m. kickoff doesn't provide many places to turn for running back help if he's limited or out. Currently, A.J. Dillon is the only other backfield option on the Packers' active roster. Go over there. I got to read that one more time. I apologize. Limited at practice. Okay, so continues to deal with the shin injury, but this week a glute issue is also being listed next to it, inhibiting his reps for a second session in a row. Friday's practice report could clear up his status entering the weekend, but if he's questionable for Sunday's game at Philly, the late kickoff doesn't provide many places to turn for running back help if he's limited or out. Currently, A.J. Dillon is the only other backfield option on the Packers' active roster. Okay, so right off the bat, Aaron Jones is not looking good there, and A.J. Brown is looking sketchy. Aaron Rodgers practiced fully Thursday. On Wednesday, Rodgers was asked about the nature of the thumb injury that he sustained back in Week 5. Rodgers said he's been playing through a broken thumb over the last 6 games, a span in which he's completed 62% of his passes, averaged 230 pass yards per game, and thrown 11 touchdowns versus 4 interceptions. With his status again cleared up by the week's end, Rodgers' current focus is Sunday's matchup with an Eagles defense that has allowed an NFL best 5.8 yards per attempt and picked off a league high 13 passes from opposing quarterbacks this season. Nothing on Mr. Jordan Love. Miles Saunders ran for 47 yards on 13 carries and brought in his only target for 1 yard against Indianapolis on Sunday. Sanders probably couldn't have done much more than he did because the Colts' run defense is among the toughest in the league, specifically because DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart are in such imposing run-stopping tackles. Sanders did his part by helping keep the Indianapolis off. Sanders probably couldn't have done much more than he did because the Colts' run defense is among the toughest in the league, specifically because DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart are such imposing run-stopping tackles. Sanders did his part by helping keep the Indianapolis defense honest, buying Jalen Hurts just enough room to work with the sneak out with a win. Sanders should find yardage much more easily against Green Bay in Week 12. Well, right off the bat, we could just lose these three. Jordan Love is a risk because Rodgers plans to play. So we have the whole reason I like to construct the lineups this way is because you drive yourself so fucking crazy with these outliers that I always tell yourself, commit yourself. If you're only going to do a 20 lineup allowance, rather than be all over the place, commit to a core of players and just change out the captains. This way you're protected if somebody goes off, but again, your pressure is the core, which sometimes works out in a Bills game or a fucking Giants-Cowboys game, but sometimes doesn't work out in the fucking Patriots game or the fucking Monday Night Football game if other players just kind of go off in a weird combination. But again, if you want to be a spreadsheet guy and play 150, God bless you. I ain't blowing that kind of cash anymore because, again, it's never guaranteed. You tell yourself, 150 fucking lineups. I'm going to kill this. And then some fucking combination just works around you. Tell yourself this. Tell yourself it's like a fucking entity. The actual game is played out by football gods, gladiators, moving these pieces along a fucking chessboard. And they tell yourself straight off the bat that you and these other 198,000 players in this game all have their own personal bias going in and saying, God damn it, God, why are you working against me? There's an entity that just seems to find a way to work against your lineups, whether it's 20, whether it's 150. And I've showed you that going back to my 20 lineup allowance, I still got to win. 2 wins this year, actually. Feeling good from my head to my shoes. Don't know where I'm going and don't know what to do. I got a new attitude. All right. So I think maybe we keep A.J. Brown. Right? He's playing, he's not playing. Because they're telling me, right, Devontae Smith, also questionable. Limited on Thursday's practice report. Smith tended to a knee injury last week, so the cap on his reps this week may be maintenance related to keep him as close to 100% as possible. Meanwhile, fellow wide receiver A.J. Brown was at DNP on Thursday due to an illness, a reality that could bump up Smith to number 1 on the depth chart for the Eagles if the former is limited or sidelined this weekend. In the end, Friday's report may clearly clarify the status of both Brown and Smith for Sunday's game versus the Packers. God, this is complicated. This could really end up being a low fucking scoring game. We got range. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm fucking do? We're going to first cut Jordan Love. And we're going right to our kickers. Jake Elliott. 1 for 1 on field goal attempts, 2 for 2 on extra point attempts at Sunday's win over the Colts. Elliott didn't have a particularly tough day as his 22-yard field goal that put the Eagles on the board early in the second quarter came from an inside extra point range. Despite kicking for a team that ranks 4th in points per game, Elliott continues to have an underwhelming fantasy season. The Eagles have been so good at finding the end zone that they've rarely called on him, ranking 2nd in touchdowns, but last in field goal attempts. All right, so let's look at this guy's. Wow, his scoring report sucks. However, it's a rainy day game. Will that have an impact on this fucking game? Cold, fucking November in fucking Philly. I don't remember it being fucking breezy weather. What we got? We have Mason Crosby. Maybe this is a defense thing. Crosby made a 39-yard field goal and had his only extra point attempt blocked in Thursday's loss to the Titans. Tennessee's defense was regularly stifled opposing kickers this season. And they did so again Thursday night. Green Bay's next opponent, the Eagles, are faring even better in that department than the Titans. So it seems unlikely Crosby will bounce back in week 12. All right, right off the bat, all signs are pointing to fucking defense here. Now we got a $13,000 deficit. So let's replace Aaron Jones right off the bat with A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon had 6 carries for 13 yards and 1 reception for 10 yards in Thursday's loss to the Titans. Dillon played as many snaps as he is averaging on the season in Thursday's contest, but he wound up finishing with fewer than 10 touches for the third time in his last 7 appearances. Since the start of that stretch, he has averaged just 42 yards from scrimmage per game and has not found pay dirt. So he has provided little assistance for those, including him, in fantasy lineups. Oy, oy, oy. But look at that week 1 score. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones is banged up. This is a lost season. I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. All right, we still need that 7,800 back. Miles Saunders, Eagles D. So I'm saying we keep A.J. Brown and we drop Aaron Rodgers. Although, Devontae Smith has got a better injury report than A.J. Brown. So let's get Devontae Smith in there. But we still got to make back 4,600. So we lose Aaron Rodgers. We got 5,400. We got Randall Cobb, Robert Tunyon. We got all these guys before we could settle on either Jake Elliott or Mason Crosby. So let's do some reading. Randall Cobb was listed as limited on Thursday's injury report. Cobb's health concern is an ailment, as opposed to an injury, which so far has capped his on-field reps during Week 12 prep. Assuming he's able to put the illness behind him for Sunday's road matchup with the Eagles, be it on Friday's report or upon the release of inactives around 90 minutes before the 8 p.m. kickoff, he again will be an option at wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. God, these reports suck my asshole. Rob Tunyon sat out Thursday's practice due to an illness. Jesus fucking Christ. Green Bay. Some fucking healthy players. Tunyon practiced fully Thursday, Wednesday. So the Titans' addition to the Packers injury report Thursday makes his status worth tracking ahead of Sunday's game against the Eagles. If Tunyon is able to play this weekend, added passing targets would be available for some combination of Josiah DeGura, Mercedes Lewis, and Tyler Davis. See, this is why we read the reports. We like to see names pop up, just to see if there's an interest. Their names pop up more than once. It's a sign from the football gods that says, play this motherfucker. Quiz! Watkins caught both of his targets for 31 yards and a touchdown in Sunday's narrow victory over the Colts. Watkins' 22-yard score early in the fourth quarter brought the Eagles to within 3 points, and he's played a larger part of the offense recently, averaging 45.3 yards on 2.7 catches over the past 3 games after averaging 12.6 yards on 0.9 catches over the first 7 games. But his stronger recent numbers aren't enough to make him a reliable fantasy option. Even with Dallas Goedert out, the Eagles still ran most of their passing game through A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who received a combined 16 of the team's 23 targets. However, what we learned, Smith is banged up, A.J. Brown's banged up, and Dallas Goedert's out. However, I'm liking Quez so far over Jake Elliott. But not taking a kicker has burned me in the dick before. So, let's see if Gainwell provides a better option. Kenneth Gainwell carried the ball once for 0 yards and wasn't targeted with any passes in Sunday's win against the Colts. Gainwell saw the field for just 11 offensive snaps, fewer even than fellow depth running back Boston Scott. Scott also received 5 touches compared to just 1 for Gainwell. Gainwell has now received his 1 carry in 3 of the last 4 weeks and hasn't carried the ball more than 5 times in any game this season. Oh, fuck your mother. Yeesh. All right. Watkins or Elliott? Watkins or Elliott? Let's see consistent. Let's just total it up. 5, 3, 8, 11, 16, 26, 31, 37, 42, 50. Jake Elliott has 50 fantasy points this season. What's Quez got? 11, 22, maybe a 22.1, 22.1, 22.1, 26.6. Oh, the goddamn. Let's just round it up. 27. 27 plus 5 is 32. 32 plus 14 plus 15 right there. 14 point. 32 plus 15, 37. Oh shit, the kicker has scored more points. I'm glad I did the math. Elliot. When you deny the kicker burns. I've lost too many fucking games because of the goddamn kicker. You got to fight the urge to want to run the receiver. You got a receiver in there already. You'll get Quez Watkins at captain. Like we see, we got A.J. Brown here at captain. But again, we got a $16,000 deficit. Goodbye, Mr. Love. We will replace you with the Eagles defense. I'm thinking it's going to be that kind of fucking game, ladies and gentlemen. Sanders stays. Let's pull Aaron Jones in favor of A.J. Dillon. And now we're going to pull Aaron Rodgers with 2,400 left. Now, again, we can run kicker instead of the defense. That is also an option as well. But you know what part of the show this is. The bottom of the barrel. All the way up to Zach Pascal. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Tyree Jackson activated from the PUP list Wednesday. Jackson will join the 53-man roster for the first time since tearing his ACL during the Eagles' 2021 regular season finale. He'll likely operate in a rotational role behind Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stoll if he suits up Sunday in Indianapolis. But all three tight ends are candidates for increased roles while Dallas Goedert is on injured reserve. All right, so right now, Tyree Jackson's our sleeper. So somebody takes the title. It ain't going to be Britton fucking Covey. It ain't going to be Greg Ward. Or Josh Babbitts. Jeff Cotton Jr. signed to the practice squad. Cotton has made just one NFL appearance for the Jaguars in 2021. Since joining the league as an undrafted free agent with the Chargers, Green Bay is currently dealing with injuries to Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Romeo Doubs, and Sammy Watkins, so it isn't surprising to see them add wideout depth. Although it's unlikely Cotton will be elevated to the active roster anytime soon. All right, fuck off, Cotton. D.D. Westbrook was signed to the Packers practice squad Tuesday. Westbrook's addition to the Green Bay's practice squad comes as the team is dealing with multiple injuries to their wide receiver core. Alan Lazard, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson are all questionable for Thursday's game with the Titans. Not to mention Randall Cobb also remains on IR due to an ankle injury. Westbrook last played with the Vikings in 2021, appearing in 15 games, making 10 catches on 15 targets for 68 yards. Yeah, we still like Tyree. Hey, fucking Jack Coco. I want to take Jack Coco just because that's the coolest fucking name ever. Oh, fucking Jack Coco over here, all right? What are you doing? That's a name. That's a comic book character's name right there. Jack Coco. Devin Allen. Travis Fulgham. Tyler Goodson. All right, so far Tyree's our only guy. Tyree. Market's open on Friday? Look at that shit. Kennedy Brooks. Nothing. Well, we got a recent news report. Grant fucking Calcaterra saw the field for just 19 offensive snaps and was not targeted a single time in Sunday's win over Indianapolis. Calcaterra could have been in line for an increased role in the absence of Dallas Goedert as the number 2 tight end. Jack Stoll primarily fills a blocking role. While Calcaterra did indeed set a season high on offensive snaps, he remained in nowhere near a fantasy relevant role. All right. However, he's out there. Tyler Davis, this guy was mentioned as a possible replacement for Bobby Tunyon. Juwan Winfrey. Mercedes Lewis. Yes, another mention. Trey the Prey. Ruled inactive at Thursday's game against the Texans. Wow, this is old. Sermon will be ruled a healthy scratch for the 6th time since joining the Eagles in early September. Second year back was waived as part of the Niners' final roster cuts in August, and he's logged 2 carries for 19 yards on 8 offensive snaps so far in 2022. Summer is unlikely to see much action while slotting in behind Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott this season. Dallas Goddard said Wednesday that he hopes to return from injured reserve after a minimum 4 week stay in play in the December 18th game against the Bears in Week 15. Though Goddard is eyeing a minimum length stay on IR, a decision can be made on when he's available to play will ultimately hinge on how his shoulder responds in the coming weeks. The Eagles are left with Jack Stoll, Grant Calcaterra, and Tyree Jackson at tight end. But none of those three players are likely to direct inherit the 5.8 targets per game that Goddard has averaged this season. Tyree Jackson. Samori Toure played 4 snaps and was not targeted in Thursday's loss to the Titans. Since playing a season-high 25 snaps in Week 9, Toure was on the field for just 12 plays the following week and only a third of that number one game later. Barring an injury to one of his fellow wideouts, his role will likely remain limited in the Packers' Week 12 matchup with the Eagles. Osaya Degura caught all 5 of his targets for 41 yards in Sunday's loss to the Lions. The tight end entered Sunday's contest with just 6 receptions for 65 yards over 8 games, but the Packers needed more from him Sunday after rookie wideouts Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson exited early, and Degura nearly doubled his production on the season. The Packers may continue looking for ways to get him more involved due to the attrition at wide receiver, but he is sharing snaps at tight end with Robert Tonyan and Mercedes Lewis, and thus remains on the fringes of fantasy utility. Ugh. What have you done for me lately? Jack Stoll. Stoll was the Eagles' primary tight end Sunday against the Colts in the absence of Dallas Goddard, but he caught just 1 pass for 7 yards. Stoll was unquestionably the tight end the Eagles turned to in Goddard's absence, seeing the field for 55 offensive snaps compared to a combined 28 for Grant Calcaterra and Tyree Jackson. Despite the playing time, Stoll doesn't have anything close to Goddard's skill set as an offensive weapon, and nothing in his usage in the Week 11 win suggests that it'll be particularly interesting fantasy fill-in until Goddard returns. Ugh. Not a good review. Finally, Zach Pascal pulled in one of his 2 targets and gained 10 yards in Monday's loss to Washington. The Eagles' offense was muted overall with the Commanders dominating time of possession. Pascal hasn't made much of an impression even when the Eagles have been playing with a lead, so it's no surprise to see his impact remain minimal in the team's first loss. However, look at that game against Pittsburgh. Point is, if you do the math, Zach Pascal is a better risk than Tyree Jackson. So we're going with Zach Pascal. In case A.J. Brown's a bust. Seen a lot of fucking slaughter stacks here, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of slaughter stacks. But the Packers just don't sound like a good fucking team. They sound like a team in major fucking disarray. So Aaron Jones is your captain. We can't replace him. However, we can spell him by taking out Jordan Love, putting in A.J. Dillon to spell Aaron Jones. We can pull A.J. Brown here. And how's the Packers D doing? Packers D, I'm doing a little math real quick. 10, 13, 19, 28, 30, 33, 40, 51, 60, 61. Packers defense has scored 61 points this year. What about Mason Crosby? 10, 13, 18, 21, 25, 35, 43, 45, 55, 51. Packers D has scored more than the kicker. Goodbye, Aaron Rodgers. Hello, 6,000. What do we got here for 6,000? We got backup quarterbacks and the Eagles D. Bang! Bang with the fucking trolley. Ring, ring, ring with the fucking bell. So as you can see, I'm kind of dedicating myself to Miles Saunders there for a little bit. So if Miles Saunders doesn't have a good game, I ain't winning any fucking money. Rodgers here at quarterback. Let's take Brown off the table. Let's take Jones off the table. Let's take Love off the table. Let's get the defenses in. Eagles D, Packers D, leaving me 58 to play with. We read about Randall Cobb. Bobby Tunyon. There's A.J. Dillon right there. Bang. Not the most exciting looking lineup. However, we want to win 300 fucking grand. I'm not looking for exciting. I'm looking for a win. In a game with the rain, banged up fucking players on both sides, and two shitty kickers where the defense has scored more points than the kickers. That's my logic. I ain't saying it makes sense, but now we got Jordan Love over there at the captain spot, so we're protected if Love enters this game. So right off the bat, we can get rid of Aaron Rodgers. Now let's back him up with the Packers D to get to Jalen Hurts, because again, Hurts got banged up players as well. Get Aaron Jones out of there for A.J. Dillon. And finally, we'll get rid of A.J. Brown. 8,100 left. Devontae Smith right there. Now is Christian Watson, who doesn't have an injury designation, is he a better choice? Watson brought in 4 of 6 targets of 48 yards and 2 touchdowns and added a 3-yard rush. The Packers lost to the Titans on Thursday night. I was there, saw it. Watson was third on the team in receptions, receiving yards, and targets on the night for the Packers, but he was once again on the receiving end of all Aaron Rodgers' touchdown tosses. The rookie recorded scoring grabs of 14 and 8 yards in the first and third quarters, respectively, giving him 5 end zone trips in the last 4 days. Watson's next opportunity to extend that torrid stretch comes in a tough Week 12 road matchup against the Eagles a week from Sunday night. The rookie recorded scoring grabs. That torrid stretch. All right, we got to put him in. Yeah, dude. Devontae Smith is banged up. Jordan Love's in there. We got to give him a target. That's the way to go. That's the way we're doing it. Broken route. All right, now we got Miles here. Miles Saunders. A.J. Brown. All these nice fucking emails and texts. Saunders we got in here. Right off the bat, we get rid of Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love again. We get rid of Jordan Love. Let's get rid of Aaron Jones. Going to flip Brown into Smith. Get some of our cash back here. Eagles D. 11-6 left. Now we can back up Sanders with Gainwell. Now we go up the list a little bit too, and there's Boston Scott. Scott carried the ball 3 times for 8 yards and caught 2 passes for 4 more yards in Sunday's win over the Colts. Scott received 13 offensive snaps compared to 11 for Gainwell and outtouched his fellow running back by a 5-1 margin, though neither provided much fantasy value. If Scott starts to consistently see the field more frequently than Gainwell, he'd become the player most useful to roster as a cover for a Miles Saunders injury, but he's gained a total of just 90 yards this season and has found the end zone just once. So he's a long way from fantasy relevance at the moment. All right, that's not good. Never force it in. Let's continue up the list a little bit. You've read about most of these gentlemen by now. Sammy Watkins was targeted twice but did not catch a pass in Thursday's loss to the Titans. Watkins made a couple of plays in the Packers' Week 10 victory over the Cowboys, but he was a non-factor a few days later. Watkins trailed Allen Lazard, Christian Watson, and Randall Cobb in snaps Thursday, and as long as those 3 remain healthy, that will likely turn into a trend. Who haven't we read about yet? Ian Book, Minshew. Nothing on Book. Nothing on Edling. Good old Gardner Minshew. I have to read about Dubs and Lazard here, and we are good on this rack here. So what's going on with Dubs? Dubs worked with the rehab group during Thursday's practice. Cassidy Hill reports. Dubs went down as a non-participant on the injury report. The on-field work marked Dubs' first practice since picking up the high ankle sprain back in Week 9, which has sidelined him for the last 2 games. Coach Matt LaFleur told Tom Silverstein of the Journal-Sentinel on Wednesday that the Packers weren't ready to rule Dubs out for a 3rd consecutive contest until they viewed how he progressed this week. Considering Dubs is yet to be listed as limited, he seems to be trending another absence Sunday in Philadelphia, something that may be confirmed as soon as Friday. Questions mark remains on the Green Bay receiving corps, as both Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb had a cap on their reps both Wednesday and Thursday, leaving fellow rookie Christian Watson, Sammy Watkins, and Samari Toure as the healthy options at the position. Christian Watson. 4,400 left. It's time to put in a kicker. Oh, Gainwell, though. All right, again, do a math comparison. How many points does Gainwell have? 2.2 and 12.8. That gives us what? 15. 15 and 2, 17. 20, 22, 22 and 9, 31, 32, 34, 34 and 11. 45. I believe Elliott had what? This is what? 5, 8, 11, 16, 26, 31, 37, 42, 50. So Elliott beats you, Gainwell. Bang. Christian Watson's probably my lone packer. Bang, bang, bang with the trolley. All right, do this shit. Let's go. We got Devontae Smith. We're connecting with Hertz. We're going to downgrade A.J. Brown to the Eagles D. Going to downgrade Jones to Dillon. Rogers to Watson. Oh, you fucking cunt. Oh, no, we get rid of Jordan fucking Love over there. So we get Watson. I keep forgetting about getting rid of Jordan Love. Miles Sanders. Look at that fucking lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that lineup. Devontae Smith in at the captain spot. We got our core. 13 grand deficit. No fucking problem. But we're going to keep Lazard in there in case he plays. Lazard practiced in a limited capacity Thursday. Since Lazard sat out Week 8 road game against the Bills due to a shoulder injury, the issue has been evident on the Packers' practice reports in advance of the last 3 contests, all of which he managed at least an 87% share of snaps. His production has been somewhat sporadic, though, with 12 catches on 25 targets for 889 yards and 1 touchdown during that span. Friday's report will reveal whether or not Lazard ditches his designation ahead of Sunday's outing at Philadelphia. Keep him in there for now, but if he doesn't play, fuck him. We pull his ass. Start doing it. Start flipping. We flip A.J. Brown to Eagles D. See, we're investing heavily on the Eagles fucking defense here. A.J. Dillon. Aaron Rodgers becomes Christian Watson. Jordan Love becomes Miles Saunders. We're seeing a theme here, right? Basically, I'm taking a core of cards that I feel are just going to be the best performing cards, and I'm changing out the captains. Trying to protect myself on the captain is really where you win the fucking game. That's your fucking tiebreaker, your outlier. I mean, you don't need to know that shit. I mean, you need to know that shit, but you don't need me to tell you that shit. Maybe you do. Maybe you're a fucking idiot. A.J. Brown, Eagles D. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Aaron Rodgers, Christian Watson. Oh, who's at the captain spot already? So we're going to put in Miles Saunders, of course. Leaving us Devontae Smith. Absent fucking Tivley. Bang. I feel that this is the lineup that I could win this game with. Now, Romeo Dubs is doubtful, so we're going to ready to pull that one. And move that option to the back of the line. Oh, fucking cunt. I hate I group that shit. You hate when you have your computer and the fucking buttons get all weird and shit. All right, Eagles D absolutely going to fucking keep that in there. And let's start doing a little fucking creative movement here. Let's first of all turn Aaron Jones into A.J. Dillon. We're going to turn A.J. Brown into we can't do the Eagles. Oh, Christian Watson, of course. Aaron Rodgers to Miles Saunders. Jordan Love I'd say Devontae Smith. I mean, he's the least injured. You got Sanders, you got Dillon, yeah, you got it all here. Again, taking a big risk here, keep dumping out on Aaron Rodgers, dumping out on Jordan Love, but I'm saying fuck it. Because even if they're in or they're splitting the reps, they're not scoring enough fucking points. Randall Cobb. I mean, you can keep Aaron Rodgers, but the fact of the matter is Rodgers has admitted that he's fucked up. So regardless of who's throwing to him, I just want the fucking target. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, A.J. Brown, Eagles D. Leaving me $4,000. $4,000 to dick around with. You dump. Oh, you can take A.J. Brown here. You got the money. You got the money here. Don't only say because I have the money means I have to spend every fucking dime of it. Who is more valuable, A.J. Brown or Miles Saunders? A.J. Brown. I mean, even Devontae Smith. However, out of Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Miles Saunders, we're going to leave $4,200 on the table. But again, before we say yes, take a look around. Well, you could ditch out on Cobb and say this is just a bad captain's pick here. Cobb was listed as limited. Cobb's health concern is an ailment as opposed to an injury, which so far has capped his on-field reps. Assuming he's able to put the illness behind him for Sunday's road matchup with the Eagles, be it on Friday's report or upon release of the inactives, he again will be an option wide receiver for Aaron. I mean, look, he had a great game. I was there. Yeah, I'm keeping him there. I was there in tennis. I was there in fucking Lambeau. That motherfucker played well. If it's an ailment, then you just got to shit it out. There we go. But can we ditch A.J. Dillon? Is it better to go with Jordan Love here over A.J. Dillon? If they announce Jordan Love as the starter, yeah, you go in there and change these lineups around. But as of now, looking around at all these other options, A.J. Dillon. Leaving $4,200 on the table. There'll be time enough for count when the deal is done. All right, bada bing, bada boom. Now, if you want to get bold, you got Tunyon here, but again, I don't think Tunyon's fucking playing. Sat out Thursday's practice doing it. Everybody's just sick. The tight end's addition to the injury report makes his status worth tracking ahead of Sunday's game against the Eagles. If Tunyon's able to play this weekend, added, let's see, the questionable. The problem is I get scared away by that questionable tag. Again, they said it's an illness, not an injury. You can shit it out. So right off the bat, you can keep Hurts, Brown, Rod. No, you're not keeping Love and Rodgers. So switching out Jordan Love for Christian Watson. Now you can keep Rodgers here, but I'm telling you, I mean, we want to play fucking real logic. Again, Jones for Dillon. We'll keep Rodgers just for the sheer crazed fuck of it. No, I don't want. I'm not feeling confident keeping Aaron fucking Rodgers in that goddamn lineup. I want Saunders, but again, it fits. It fits, right? If I don't, oh god damn it. Not feeling very confident running Aaron Rodgers. But again, he scored 19 points with his busted fucking thumb. So maybe we got to think about keeping him in any Green Bay target lineup. There we go. So I'm not completely ignoring Aaron fucking Rodgers. A.J. Dillon in the captain spot. Perfect. So let's drop Aaron Jones. Let's drop Jordan Love for Christian Watson. Let's downgrade A.J. Brown to Devontae Smith. And we got the Eagles D. Bang! Defense against the captain. It wins a lot for some crazy fucking reason. Quez Watkins. Of course, we got Jalen Hurts. So again, Jones to Dillon. A.J. Brown to Christian Watson. Jordan Love and Miles Saunders. That's an easy fix. That's a damn good lineup right there. And again, we'll keep Aaron Rodgers in. We ignored him in a bunch of lineups. We'll keep him in these last few because, again, this is really just about cutting one or two players now that we have the cap room. Jordan Love into Saunders. Gainwell and Saunders will put them together in the lineup together. Jones for Dillon. Brown for Watson. Perfect. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Watson, Dillon Rogers, Gainwell, Hurts, Saunders. That's a weird enough fucking lineup to win. 82. You just dropped him. But again, we want to switch it up around here a little bit. Elliott, the kicker. That's fine. We're going to take Eagles D to back up the kicker in a low scoring game. And then Christian Watson. Or we go Devontae Smith. I'm feeling some Christian Watson here. I'm just liking some Christian Watson. I was there. Lambeau Field. I watched that son of a bitch play. He was damn good. Sometimes you see with your own eyes, you got to say, okay, this is the way I got to rock and roll. We're going to get Mason Crosby. We're going to back him up with the Packers D. I'm going to switch out Aaron Jones for the Eagles D. Huh. Oh, maybe not the Eagles D. Let's get Saunders in there. Get AJ out. Watson in. Crosby, Hurts, Watson, Sanders, Rogers, Packers D. I like that. Leave the 3,500 on the table. Sometimes, when you're anticipating a low scoring game, you gotta leave that money on the fucking table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done. Watkins. We keep Rogers, of course. Let's ditch out on Jordan Love. Christian Watson is a backup. Let's lose A.J. Brown, and we fit the Eagles D perfectly. Aaron Jones. I mean, you can keep Aaron Jones in one lineup in case he plays. Watkins at captain is crazy. And fuck Aaron Jones. I don't like it. Saunders. Leave the 17 on the table. Perfect. Never outpsych yourself. If you got a feeling that somebody ain't gonna be fucking playing no football. Packers D. Watson. Jones. I'd roll with Cobb. Wouldn't mind rolling with Cobb here. The Cobb and Watson together? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. For some reason, I'm liking these defense. This is a double defense right here. Or you could run fucking Jones. I just don't see it. Saunders. Leave the two G's on the table. Running this core. That was the Packers D, right? Okay, yes. Boston Scott. I don't see Boston Scott as a good captain, so I'm going to go with the lineup formula that won me 5Gs game one last year, which was an Eagles slaughter stack. Jalen Hurts, Miles Saunders, Devontae Smith. It was Dallas Goddard, but now it's not going to be Dallas Goddard. So I'm going to run the Eagles D and Tyree Jackson. Yes, that is exactly what I'm going to do. A varied version of my slaughter stack. 10 grand left. The only guy left. We could take Aaron Rodgers. We'll go Christian Watson. But I think, oh, this is a tough one because it's either Rodgers or Watson here for the final lineup. Oh, mama, what do we do here? What do we do here? What do we do here? Rodgers or Watson? I mean, Rodgers, you have access to everything he's doing, but Watson is the beast. That's the hot ticket. Now, if you wanted to trade out for Tyree Jackson, is anybody worth it? No. Although Boston Scott, I want access to a fucking tight end. Boston Scott might be the better pick here. Yeah. We don't have Boston Scott anywhere, which that bites us in the fucking ass. Yep, that fits. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 lineups going after 300 grand. May fate and faith decide your fortune if you should win. Kindly bring all your money over here. It's a new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Ends in 10 days. We're doing good. We can always be doing better. Peace, love, war, and all that other shit in between.